Arsenal training ground atmosphere, Arteta's tactical blueprint, and early week preparation versus Bournemouth. Arsenal's preparations for their Premier League encounter against Bournemouth this weekend have unfolded with a level of intensity, structure, and clarity that underlines how far Mikel Arteta's project has evolved. As the squad reconvened at the Soba Realty Training Center, carrying both the physical sharpness and psychological discipline of a side that understands the importance of marginal gains at this stage of the season. And from the very first session, the message from Arteta and his coaching staff was unmistakable: focus, precision, and collective responsibility, with training drills designed not merely to maintain fitness, but to reinforce tactical habits that have become second nature to this Arsenal side, beginning with structured warm-ups that flowed seamlessly into positional rondos, where the emphasis was placed on one-touch passing, awareness of pressure angles, and quick decision-making under tightly controlled spaces, replicating the moments Bournemouth are likely to create when they attempt to disrupt Arsenal's build-up play. And these opening exercises were not passive or routine, but sharp, demanding, and deliberately uncomfortable, pushing players to think faster than the opposition while maintaining technical cleanliness, a core requirement in Arteta's system, as he constantly demands that his team dominate matches through intelligent possession rather than sterile control. And as the sessions progressed, the coaching staff gradually increased complexity by layering tactical constraints into drills, forcing players to adapt positioning dynamically depending on ball location, opposition pressing triggers, and transitional moments, reflecting Arteta's belief that training should mirror match reality as closely as possible, with no wasted movements or unnecessary repetition. And throughout this phase, the senior figures in the squad naturally assumed leadership roles, with Martin Odegaard orchestrating tempo in midfield zones, Declan Rice offering constant communication behind him, and the defensive unit, led vocally by William Saliba, maintaining high defensive lines while coordinating offside traps and recovery angles, all of which speaks to the maturity Arsenal now possess as a collective, no longer reliant on constant instruction from the sidelines, but capable of self-regulation within Arteta's framework. And this autonomy has been deliberately cultivated over time, as Arteta believes the most dangerous teams are those that can solve problems internally during matches, a quality that has become increasingly visible in Arsenal's performances. And Bournemouth's visit has provided a specific tactical lens for preparation, as the coaching staff identified their opponent's tendency to alternate between aggressive pressing phases and deeper defensive blocks, requiring Arsenal to be flexible without losing structure, which was evident in the way training drills alternated between high-tempo possession exercises and compact defensive recovery scenarios, ensuring players remain mentally adaptable. And during these drills, Arteta was particularly demanding on Arsenal's fullbacks and inverted defenders, emphasizing timing, body orientation, and scanning habits when stepping into midfield zones, as Bournemouth often looked to exploit space vacated in wide areas through quick transitions, and the Spanish coach's insistence on detail was relentless, stopping play frequently to correct minor positional errors that, in isolation, might seem insignificant, but at Premier League level often determine the outcome of matches. And this obsessive attention to detail is something players have come to embrace rather than resist, as they recognize that Arteta's standards are not arbitrary, but rooted in a clear footballing logic. And beyond tactical structure, there was also a visible emphasis on rhythm and intensity control, with Arsenal working on accelerating play and attacking thirds while maintaining patience during build-up phases, a balance that becomes crucial against teams like Bournemouth, who may look to frustrate and counter. And as the session drew towards its closing stages, competitive small-sided games were introduced, compressing space even further and forcing players to execute under fatigue, simulating late-match conditions where concentration often drops. And it was in these moments that the squad's collective mentality stood out, with players pushing each other, celebrating defensive blocks, and well-timed interceptions with the same intensity as goals, reflecting Arteta's message that defensive excellence is just as valuable as attacking flair, And this mindset has been fundamental in Arsenal's rise, as they have become a team defined not only by technical quality, but by emotional control, resilience, and unity. And as the players left the pitch after the opening phase of preparations, there was a clear sense that this was not a routine week, but one treated with the seriousness of a side fully aware that consistency, rather than spectacle, is what sustains success across a long Premier League season. Arsenal enter their Premier League clash against Bournemouth with a sense of focus, maturity, and growing authority that reflects how far Mikel Arteta's project has evolved, as preparations at London Colney throughout the week have been intense, purposeful, and sharply tuned toward maintaining momentum at a crucial stage of the season, with the coaching staff emphasizing tactical discipline, physical freshness, and mental sharpness after a demanding festive schedule, knowing that matches like this, away from home against a well-organized, energetic opponent, often define title challenges more than high-profile clashes. And the mood around the training ground has reportedly been calm but determined, with senior players taking leadership roles in sessions, driving standards, and ensuring that complacency does not creep in as Arsenal look to impose their identity from the first minute at the Vitality Stadium, an environment that has historically tested even the league's strongest sides due to Bournemouth's aggressive pressing, compact defensive shape, and willingness to attack quickly in transition, all of which Arteta has been preparing his squad for in meticulous detail, using video analysis to highlight Bournemouth's patterns of play, especially their tendency to overload wide areas and exploit half spaces when opponents commit too many bodies forward, something Arsenal are keenly aware of as they refine their positional play and rest defense structure in training, ensuring that players like William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes remain protected when the fullbacks advance and the midfield pushes high to sustain pressure. While the fitness situation continues to be a major talking point heading into the game, with Declan Rice's condition being closely monitored after experiencing knee discomfort, a development that has prompted a carefully managed approach from the medical team, who are balancing the need to have one of Arsenal's most influential players available against the risk of aggravating an issue that could have longer-term consequences. And although Rice has participated in light training, Arteta is expected to make a late decision based on how the midfielder responds to final sessions, fully aware that Rice's ability to break up play, carry the ball through pressure, and provide defensive cover is central to Arsenal's control in midfield, particularly against a Bournemouth side that thrives on quick counters and second balls, while other injury concerns remain relatively stable, with certain players still unavailable but the core of the squad intact, allowing Arteta to rotate intelligently rather than reactively, something he has emphasized in recent press conferences as he seeks to manage workloads during this congested period. And the return to fitness of key attacking players has been a major boost, as Arsenal's forward line continues to show fluidity, pace, and variety, with Bukayo Saka's sharpness and decision-making in the final third once again standing out in training, supported by Martin Odegaard's creativity and leadership between the lines, where his ability to dictate tempo and unlock compact defenses is expected to be crucial against Bournemouth's low-to-mid block, while the tactical focus for this match has reportedly centered on patience and precision rather than relentless speed, with Arteta instructing his players to avoid forcing play too early and instead move Bournemouth from side to side, stretching their defensive structure before exploiting gaps through quick combinations and late runs into the box, something Arsenal have executed well in recent fixtures, especially when facing teams that sit deep and attempt to frustrate. And defensively, Arsenal have been working extensively on dealing with set pieces and aerial threats, recognizing that Bournemouth pose a significant danger from dead ball situations, with their physical presence and well-rehearsed routines, prompting Arsenal's coaching staff to drill zonal marking adjustments and second-phase reactions to ensure that concentration levels remain high throughout the match, particularly during periods when the tempo drops and lapses can occur. And psychologically, this match has been framed internally as a test of professionalism and consistency rather than emotion, with Arteta reminding his players that title races are won by handling routine challenges with the same intensity as headline fixtures. A message that resonates strongly with a squad that has experienced the pain of falling short in previous seasons and now shows signs of having learned from those setbacks, as evidenced by their calmer in-game management, improved defensive solidity, and greater ruthlessness in closing out matches. As Arsenal continue their build-up toward the Bournemouth fixture, the tactical preparation has moved into an even more detailed phase, with Mikel Arteta and his coaching staff spending significant time refining the finer points of positional play, pressing triggers, and transitional control, understanding that Bournemouth, under their current setup, are at their most dangerous when opponents lose structure, particularly in moments immediately after losing possession, which has led Arsenal to place special emphasis in training on counter-pressing discipline, ensuring that the distances between midfielders and defenders remain compact so that any turnover can be immediately contested, rather than allowing Bournemouth's wide players and attacking midfielders the space to accelerate into open channels. And this has been reflected in the intensity of small-sided drills at London Colney, where players have been repeatedly instructed to react within seconds of losing the ball, closing angles and forcing play wide, a principle that has become a defining feature of Arteta's Arsenal, and one that could be decisive at the Vitality Stadium, where the pitch dimensions and crowd proximity often encourage fast, direct football, while the midfield balance remains a central discussion point internally, particularly with the uncertainty surrounding Declan Rice's availability, because his role is not simply that of a defensive shield, but also that of a rhythm setter who allows Arsenal to sustain pressure by recycling possession intelligently. And in preparation for the possibility that Rice may not start, Arteta has been working on alternative combinations in midfield, testing how players like Mikel Merino or Jorginho can compensate in terms of positional awareness and ball circulation, while Martin Odegaard has been given even greater responsibility to drop deeper during build-up phases, linking defense and attack and ensuring Arsenal do not become stretched vertically, something Bournemouth actively look to exploit by pressing selectively and then springing forward with numbers. And in attack, Arsenal's sessions have focused heavily on breaking down compact defensive units, with particular attention paid to timing of runs, third-man movements, and the use of inverted fullbacks to overload central zones, a pattern that has brought them success in recent matches. And Bukayo Saka's role on the right flank remains pivotal, not just as a direct dribbler, but as a creative hub who draws defenders toward him and opens space for overlapping or underlapping runs. While on the opposite side, Arsenal have been rehearsing scenarios where the left-sided attacker drifts inside to occupy half spaces, allowing the fullback to provide width and stretch Bournemouth's backline horizontally, forcing difficult decisions for their defenders. And this strategic patience is seen as essential because Bournemouth are disciplined in maintaining their shape and will look to frustrate Arsenal by denying central access, hoping to provoke rushed crosses or speculative shots. And Arteta has been clear in his messaging that composure in the final third will be key, encouraging his players to trust the process, recycle possession when necessary, and wait for high-quality chances rather than forcing the issue early, which aligns with the broader evolution of this Arsenal side into one that is more controlled and less emotionally reactive than in previous seasons. And defensively, the focus has remained on communication and leadership, with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes expected to anchor the backline with authority, constantly organizing those around them, especially during moments when Bournemouth push their fullbacks high and attempt to overload wide areas. And training footage and reports suggest that Arsenal have also been paying close attention to set-piece organization, both offensively and defensively, recognizing that matches like this can often be decided by dead ball situations, particularly if open play chances are limited. And Arsenal's delivery, movement, and blocking schemes have been refined to maximize threat while minimizing vulnerability to counters, an area Arteta has repeatedly highlighted as non-negotiable in title-challenging teams. And beyond the tactical aspects, There's also a clear psychological narrative shaping Arsenal's preparation, as the coaching staff have been keen to reinforce the importance of consistency and professionalism, reminding players that the Premier League does not allow room for emotional dips or mental lapses, especially against opponents who have nothing to lose and everything to gain from upsetting a title contender. And this message appears to have resonated strongly within the squad, with senior figures leading by example in training, setting intensity levels, and holding teammates accountable, creating an environment where standards remain high regardless of opposition. And this collective mindset has been further strengthened by Arsenal's recent run of results, which has boosted belief without breeding complacency, as players are fully aware that the league table can change rapidly if focus slips, and Arteta's insistence on treating every match as a separate challenge has helped maintain this balance, ensuring that Bournemouth are approached with the same respect and preparation as any top six rival. And from a physical standpoint, load management has been carefully planned, with rotation options discussed not just in terms of personnel, but also in-game roles, allowing certain players to conserve energy by adjusting pressing responsibilities or positional duties, depending on match context, something that could prove crucial in the latter stages of the game if Bournemouth attempt to raise the tempo or apply late pressure. And overall, Arsenal's preparation for this match reflects a team that is not simply reacting to circumstances, but proactively shaping them, combining tactical clarity, physical readiness, and mental strength in a way that suggests a growing maturity within the squad. And as the countdown to kickoff continues, the sense around the club is that this is exactly the kind of test Arsenal must pass if they are to turn promise into tangible success, making the Bournemouth fixture a subtle but significant marker of how far this team has come and how seriously they intend to push their ambitions forward this season. The final preparations for Arsenal's clash against Bournemouth intensify. The focus has shifted toward fine-tuning the last tactical nuances while maintaining the psychological edge that has become a hallmark of Mikel Arteta's leadership, with coaching sessions now integrating full match simulations, situational drills, and scenario-based decision-making exercises that challenge players to respond instinctively under pressure, mirroring conditions they are likely to face at the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth's high-energy approach and ability to transition quickly from defense to attack demand acute awareness and precision from every Arsenal player. And these sessions have highlighted not only technical and positional discipline, but also the importance of mental alertness, as Arteta continually reinforces that a lapse of concentration at any moment could invite trouble against a side adept at exploiting mistakes, with particular attention being paid to the midfield interface, where Declan Rice's uncertain availability has necessitated contingency planning, ensuring that alternative midfield configurations maintain balance between defensive coverage and creative impetus, and that players like Mikel Merino or Jorginho can step into roles that demand both physical presence and the capacity to dictate tempo, while Martin Odegaard's involvement in orchestrating the flow of play remains central as he bridges defense and attack, linking movements, managing possession, and identifying the optimal moments to penetrate Bournemouth's defensive lines with passes or by drawing defenders out of position. And the attacking unit itself has undergone meticulous preparation, emphasizing timing, spacing, and coordinated movements to dismantle Bournemouth's compact structure, with Bukayo Saka on the right flank, tasked not only with direct penetration, but also with creating opportunities for overlapping and underlapping runs, while the left side and central attackers work in tandem to ensure that channels are exploited intelligently, making it difficult for Bournemouth to predict Arsenal's attacking patterns. And in addition to structured offensive drills, the squad has devoted significant time to defensive cohesion, particularly in reacting to counterattacks, managing transitions, and maintaining positional integrity during sustained pressure, with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes anchoring the defense and providing vocal leadership, constantly adjusting the line and coordinating with fullbacks and midfielders. while the goalkeeper, Raya, has been drilled in anticipating situations and communicating effectively. Crucial against Bournemouth's threat in wide areas and on set pieces, as the opposition often relies on well-rehearsed routines and aerial duels to create danger. And Arsenal's preparation has mirrored this with repeated emphasis on zonal marking, clearance patterns, and rapid second-phase reactions to ensure resilience and readiness at all times, while also maintaining composure to build play methodically once the ball is regained. And beyond the purely tactical, Arteta has been shaping the psychological approach to ensure focus, discipline, and consistency, reinforcing that every match carries weight in the context of a title push, where even seemingly routine fixtures must be approached with professionalism.